Skyrim Special Edition has been out for a few days now, and I've played a fair amount with and without mods. And so far I believe that the Special Edition is a step in the right direction, but it is by no means perfect. So today I want to talk about the current state of the game and what my hopes are for the future. First, to get that out of the way, let's talk about the graphics really quickly. The outside lighting is really nice and basically means that you no longer necessarily need to run an ENB to make your game look nice. Although ENBs still look a lot better. The interior lighting is a different story though. It is basically identical to the original lighting and because of that, way too bright. The new water on the other hand is in an acceptable state. I would not call the textures exceptional, but they're good enough and way more realistic than the shiny gel in the original. The newly added effects are also nice, even though I'm not a huge fan of the god rays, but I guess most of that is up to personal preference. Which brings us to the two worst parts of the Special Edition. First, the textures. For a game released in 2016, the textures are nowhere near appropriate. They are especially bad on character models and distant terrain. But of course, that's nothing a few mods couldn't fix. And then we have the anti-aliasing. What the hell, Bethesda? Given that with all the trees, foliage and small branches, anti-aliasing is basically a necessity for this game, the two options available are just horrible. FXAA is a very subtle effect and basically does nothing when moving around or removing objects, and TAA absolutely blurs your image on any movement. Let me be honest here. The MSAA in the original version wasn't too great either, but it was much better than what we have now. This is one of the moments where I really want to be able to game on a 4K monitor just so I don't have to deal with that much aliasing anymore. But since I can't do that right now, I have to settle for no AA or any of those bad solutions. Okay, enough ranting about the graphics for now. Let's continue with something positive. The Special Edition seems to run a lot better than the original game did. Of course, it is more demanding, but there are far less frame drops than before. For example, looking down the steps from Dragon's Reach to Whiterun is no longer an instant FPS killer. I also haven't experienced any crashes so far, but then again, I also don't have nearly enough mods running to justify a crash in the first place. Speaking of mods, the mod authors who already have access to the creation kit seem to be hard at work porting their mods to the new game. And many great mods have already made the jump. Once the creation kit releases for everyone, the amount of mods on the Nexus will probably grow rapidly. But of course, some of the best mods out there won't make the transition for at least a few more months. Namely, every single mod that requires SKSE to work. Since the Special Edition runs on a 64-bit engine, SKSE has to basically be rebuilt from scratch, and that will take time. So now for the big question. Is the Special Edition worth playing? For console users, absolutely. This is the best version of Skyrim they will ever get, and even with some basic mod support. For PC users, this is not necessarily the case. If you have a stable modded game, you're probably better off sticking with that. If you're not willing to basically leave almost all of your mods behind, there's no reason for you to switch. But once things like SKSE are sorted out and the amount of available mods increases significantly, there's a good chance that this game might just replace the original for many players. But only time will tell. In conclusion, the game has definitely a lot of potential, but also some issues that need to be addressed by either the developers or some modders. Okay, but I think that's enough for now. Those were my thoughts on the Special Edition. I hope you somewhat enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.